Hello, this is theSventos coming to you from the Tesseract, and let's get into this review of Star Trek Lower Decks, Episode 4, Moist Vessel. And the name is just shitty. Oh, that is the wrong screen. Review. There we go. Okay, so the episode opens up with what is essentially supposed to be a captain's log, which then turns into a mission brief, which doesn't make any sense. There's literally there's no cuts, it just kind of flows into captain's recording a log that they're essentially helping out these people who are frozen in stasis on this like mummy ship, which has just been drifting through space, and it has this weird fluid thing that can turn things into like inanimate objects into living things. So like it drips onto a tricorder and starts sprouting a flower thing. Then we go into the briefing room, so like the log turns into the briefing, and we have this Tellarad captain from an identical ship to the Dorito, and they're talking about how like they have to be very careful because they have to tow the ship to a starbase so they can help these mummy people out. But if they tear the hull, they're gonna spread this terraforming emulsion goo shit show everywhere. So, as her nature is, Miss Bitchface McDaughterton, she starts, being all obnoxious and insubordinate to her mother slash the captain, and the Tellarad captain is all like, you don't even have control of your persons. They don't respect you. They don't support authority. Like look at that bitchy face that she's making. Like, freaking hate that character. So then we get into the stupid credits. Blah blah blah. So the captain is trying to discipline her daughter, which, honestly, if you ask me, she should get a phaser set on heavy stun and repeatedly shoot this piece of shit. But hey. So she gives her the Vulcan salute sort of backwards like an FU. Because, yeah. So the captain doesn't know what the hell to do with her daughter, and the first officer suggests, why don't you just give her the shittiest job until she quits? So she's like, oh, I could give her the shittiest jobs until she quits. Right idea, genius. So what's happening here? They get their duty assignments, and Boimler's real excited because he gets to do all these fun jobs that he wants to do, and everyone's getting assignments that they want to do, and Mariner, who just button your goddamn uniform, you stupid cow. Like, why does she always have to show cleavage? Like, why? And she never gets in trouble for that. So she gets all the shittiest jobs, like cleaning stuff out of, well, lubing the turbolift, cleaning waste out of the holodecks, and I don't know what the other one is, but anyway. So this one gets to attend this ascension ceremony, and so this guy is ascending, and she's kind of sitting in and seeing what's happening because she's always wanted to experience an ascension up close, and it's literally like ascension in Stargate Atlantis, for example, where they shed their corporeal being and they go onto a higher plane of existence, living as pure energy. So basically becoming like you. So during this ceremony, she sees this weird gong thing, and then she trips, knocks the gong down, and destroys this mandala, essentially, that's taken this guy 2 years to pour in specific patterns of sand. So now he's super pissed at her, and she's all feeling guilty. These guys are doing their tasks, so Mariner is oiling the turbo lift, lubing the turbo lift. Oh yeah, decarbonizing the carbon filters or something like that. And then she finds a way to make it fun by racing the other people, and who's gonna do it first? Clean it with the phaser. Yeah. Meanwhile, the captain of the... Actually, does it take place now? I don't know. So this one, she's trying to fix things and, you know, get him to ascend because she really wants to see the ascension. So she gets him this weird metronome thing. He's like, just leave me alone. Go away. Leave me alone. I'm pissed at you. I can't stand you. Leave me the fuck alone. Then we get into a dick measuring contest between the two captains because, you know, Starfleet isn't about everyone working together because it's Kurtzman Trek, so they have to be on opposing sides, they have to be fighting. So the Telluride captain decides that he wants to do better than the captain of the Dorito. Meanwhile, because the first officer told her that Mariner is finding ways to make her shitty jobs fun, the captain decides to promote her to lieutenant, give her a brand new tactical uniform and operations so she can, you know, do all these senior officer things, even though, yeah, it's gonna just piss her off. So she's hoping to drive Mariner off the ship by promoting her. So, failing upwards. And yet, here's Boimler stuck at being an ensign even though he's excelling at everything he does, but nepotism. Blah blah blah. So they start talking about getting new chairs, and then she's giving like brand new quarters and all this kind of stuff. And then the two captains get into an even more of a dick measuring competition. Then again, weird, stupid, shitty seminars to annoy Mariner, annoying Mariner, annoying Mariner. Then she forces her to come to a senior officer's poker game, and they're playing poker wrong because when you fold, you don't have to show your cards. Yet here, every single person that folds, they show their cards face up. Like, you can't even get poker right. Poker, Earth game that everyone plays right now, that's been around for a while, that you can access the rules of poker in like 5 minutes of online search. That's been, if you're gonna do the, oh, remember when we did this on The Next Generation? Look at any episode where they play poker. They play it by the freaking rules. Anyway, so that shit's doing a thing. She is getting annoyed that she can't get the guy to like her. So she ends up going and harassing him. She is annoyed that she's a senior officer, even though Boimler is like, how did you get here? You're basically just doing shitty work and you're getting here. So he's like, I'm gonna do that too. Then she starts annoying the guy again with her constant attempts. And oh, I should point this out. She gets a full pip, so she gets promoted 2 ranks above ensign. Because in Starfleet there is ensign, then there is lieutenant junior grade, and then a full lieutenant senior grade. So there is a hollow pip and a full pip. So she skips 2 ranks right away. Nepotism. So this one is trying to get him to ascend even quicker. So she like just looks into all of these different religions and their ascension principles, and is like, oh, if I combine them all, you can ascend faster. She just annoys the crap out of him. He's basically planning on doing shitty work so he can fail upwards, because it seems to work for Mariner, so why not for him? Because nepotism. She is getting more and more annoyed, and she's kind of figuring out that the mother up promoted her so that she would quit and get off her ship. And honestly, this whole situation just reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where Elaine has that guy who's wearing the military fatigues, and he's always like freaking her out. So in order to get rid of him, she promotes him because she's afraid of firing him as to what he might do, and then everyone in the company ends up quitting because they're not seeing any benefit to doing any work, because this guy who's doing absolutely no work ends up getting promoted upwards. And that just reminds me of that situation. Anyway, so yeah, the dick measuring contest really gets into full steam right now, with the Tellarite captain being all like, I want to be better than her, so let's get closer to the ship so we can have more of a tractor beam tow, because I want credit for it, because that's what we're all about in Starfleet now. We're not about, everyone working together for benefit of everyone. No. So of course, because they get closer to the ship, there is a higher stress on the hull plating of the alien ship, and it blows, and all the fluid starts going at them. And because this bullshit device fluid, can convert any non-organic matter, it starts eating the ship and terraforming it. And then because of the tractor beams, it gets dragged onto the Dorito as well, and the whole ship starts getting terraformed in weird ways that are completely inconsistent, because the whole ship is made from the same material, yet depending on the area that it attacks, it turns either into vines or into stones or into like little ice shits. So these two bitches are these mother-daughter brave, stunning characters are discussing and biting at their jugulars because they can't stand each other, and they get attacked by the terraforming, which just, yeah, like I said, different. Like, it starts sprouting water and coral in one area of the ship, jagged rocks in another area of the ship. It has no consistency whatsoever because it just seems to be random. And then, for some reason, in the coral water area of the ship, it starts sprouting living explosives, like these weird reddish, pinkish orbs that, if they go up to the surface, they just explode. Like, what the hell? Bioorganic explosives? How is that a good idea when terraforming worlds? Oh yeah, also, the ship's computer now seems to have a unauthorized terraforming alarm. Like, how is this a thing? How is this a thing? Is this something that happens often, and the ship is programmed to recognize terraforming of metallic alloys into bioorganic compounds? Are you kidding me? So we finally realize that she's not trying to help him ascend because of the goodness of her heart and she feels bad about it. She's trying to help him ascend because she wants him to like her, because she can't stand not being liked. She saves his life, and then he's all like, I'm a fraud, I'm not trying to ascend, I've been faking it. And then these two idiots are trying to chisel their way out with rocks, and then they get to a turbolift shaft, and all of a sudden there's just vines growing right out of the cave that they just came out of and going down like rope, because plot convenience. It's not like this turbolift shaft has freaking ladders here that you could just access, because that's a doorway. Those are ladders right behind there. Could have used that, because as you can tell, it's a turbolift shaft. So they're arguing, but Mariner knows best. So these guys are about to die, and she grabs one of these bullshit bio-exposing orbs and blows their way free into a corridor. And then this guy gets crushed by a rock and is dying. And he's all like, "Leave me, I did this for you." And then these douchebags get to a transporter room and they're like, "Oh, all the computer equipment still works." So they discuss this bullshit plan. Mariner just starts spouting, weird techno babble, like, "Oh, we gotta do this, and we gotta do this, and we gotta do this." And then the mother's like, "You are right, I completely agree. I never thought you were that smart." And then they say, "Computer, hit it." So the computer is like Alexa now. You don't have to actually say, "Computer, execute this command," or you don't have to type anything into the computer. You just say, "Computer, hit it," and the computer's like, "Hitting it! I heard everything you said. I'm just gonna do exactly what you said." Boom. Kurtzman trick. So they released this gas through the environmental systems. How do you access environmental control from a transporter control system? Like, sure, the transporters are somewhat tied into the environmental controls because they they have pattern buffers and environmental scrubbers, so when the pattern gets beamed onto the ship, it actually, you know what, screw it, I'm not gonna even use logic of how Starfleet systems work, because in the first episode they didn't do shit. So now that the transporter did its BS, all this weird transmogrified stuff gets converted back into goo, which makes absolutely no sense, because if this happened, the ship would be half torn, because like because the metal that's been transmogrified into organic material that now turns into goo somehow regrows back into metal, and all of that is reversed. No, that's wrong, because you would have half the hull missing, and you would have explosive decompressions into space, and you'd have people dying. But Kurtzman Drake bullshit. So now this guy kisses her, and then he starts ascending, and we go into a weird scene and sequence that reminded me very much of Bill Cipher and the subconscious of Stan from Gravity Falls, where he starts talking in weird tongues and starts being all like this, reality, whatever shit. And he just goes away. And these two are like, "Oh, our ship is saved, but the other one is half destroyed. They're getting crushed. We need a new ship. Or an old one." So they transport everyone onto the old mummy ship, and then somehow... So you needed two of these copy-paste ships to drag this old thing to the starbase. But now the other ship has been pretty much destroyed, and you were able to drag this bucket of bolts to the starbase. Sure, okay, let's pretend that's a thing. So now they're all, "Oh, we get along now, we're mother-daughter." And she gets spooked, because she's like, "Oh, the mother is like, "Oh, you're not actually too bad of a senior officer. You could be a bridge officer, and we could spend all our time together and work together. Gonna be a mother-daughter team." And then this admiral shows up to give them medals, and this was just a super retarded scene. He says sensors instead of sensors. So she's all like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 you're saying it wrong." and then she starts saying that, oh, like her mother also, you know, things that you're saying are wrong, and you're a douchebag for saying it wrong. So the guy is obviously upset and ends up demoting Mariner to ensign, and she shows back up. Then she's kind of made her peace with people not liking her, and he's like, oh, you know, there's probably a couple people that don't like her. Like, they don't all have to like you. And then she freaks out, and she's like, who are they? Tell me. So Mariner gets demoted, and Boimler's all like, you are an idiot. You had everything that I've always wanted, and you just kind of threw it all away. And again, button up your goddamn uniform, you piece of crap. So that's it. That's it for this stupid episode of Shitwreck, the lowest of the low. Hated this episode. It made me want to put a phaser to Mariner's and her mother's face because they are such annoying characters. I'm gonna go have some calming tea, possibly meditate a little bit, and then go and try finding something relaxing to do because this has been draining. Until next time, I have been theSventos, and this has been the Tesseract. Enjoy your night.